Welcome back to the shop. I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company, and this week we're gonna build an arbor. Now, we already built our neighbors a raised garden bed. Check that video out right here. It's really, really cool. And they need an arbor for a bougainvillea that's getting a little wild, and they wanna train it where it's gonna go. So let's design it real fast. Okay, so it's gonna be out of cedar fence pickets and cedar posts. So we're gonna have 2 posts, and they're gonna go into the ground about 1.5 inches, okay? And they'll be filled with concrete here. Then we're gonna have the top posts go across and have a 1-inch overhang on each side. Then we're gonna do a nice detailed edge on the side of it. We're gonna come down 1.5 inches and 45 it back so that that detail will be really, really nice. Then in addition to that, we're gonna hog this out and make basically a little mortise for the post to sit up in. It'll look really professional, and we're just gonna hog it out and chisel it out. Then we're gonna run a 5-foot board here and our vertical and horizontal slats across and up and down. Then the bougainvillea will grow, or is growing, and they can train it and tie it to wherever they want. And that way the arbor will contain the bougainvillea. So I think it's gonna be a really fun one to build. We love our neighbors, they're super awesome. Make sure you check out the online store in the link below. Check out the video. At the end of this video, we're gonna have some 3D renderings and some plans for this. So stick around. I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company. Let's build something. Ta-da! All right, we're gonna get started by lopping off the top of this beam at 45 degrees to give it that detailed edge. Then I'm going to find the center and mark it. Now I'm gonna grab the 2x4x8 cedars, and I'm gonna cut them one end, and then I'm gonna cut them at 5 feet. And I'm gonna bring them over to the center mark to find where my down columns are gonna go. Then I'll mark that. I'll take a piece of scrap 4x4 and just make a mark where I'm going to hog out. I'm going to set the depth of my skill saw here at 1 inch, and I'm just going to make multiple passes about 1/8 of an inch apart so that I can knock it out and chip it out, using a speed square to stay straight. Take a hammer and notch it out, take a chisel, clean it up. Now that that's done, I'm going to cut the other 2x4x8s to 5 feet, and then I'm going to take them to the table saw, and I'm going to make them 1x1 inches. This is going to be for the back ledger, which the lattice work is going to rest on. I'm going to drill out with using this bit to make sure that I have enough purchase on my 4-inch screws. So I've hogged out 1 inches, so that leaves me 1.5 inches of purchase with 4-inch screws, which is plenty with glue. Now I'll start assembling on the ground here. I wish I had a giant table so I didn't have to be on my hands and knees all day, but I don't. So I'll just square it up with this T-square and a speed square and glue it up and screw it together. Now, as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing that the top is going to be shown a lot because the bush is so large. So I'm going to do an extra thing here and make a detailed 45-degree edge just to give it that extra character versus leaving that loose. You wouldn't really see this because the bush is so big. And I'll just use glue and nails to hold it and come back with 2.5-inch screws. Now I'm going to start by cutting out these 1x1s to make the ledger board and just run around it like a picture frame so that I have a place to attach the lattice work. And right here you'll see on this side how I'm going to rest the lattice work right on top of this. I'll cut the side pieces the same, and then I'll butt the bottom ledger board right up against it. And now that I've got the ledger board all the way around, I'll square it up and then I'll run some screws, 1 1/4 screws all the way around it to help hold the lattice work to it. I'm going to take the fence posts and I'm going to cut them down to 5 feet, and then I'm going to cut them at 1 inch and they're by 1/2 inch, and I'm going to make a ton of these and then start working on the lattice work. I'm going to use scrap from the 2x4s as my spacer, and the only problem I ran into here is I had to make the end pieces, the side pieces, 2 inches instead of 1 inch, just to make an even gap. That center piece there is not going to stay. It's just for support. The horizontal lattice work will actually hold everything taut, but it's just there to prop it up. And then I'll just work my way down, gluing and nailing. I want to leave these boards shy about 1/2 to 1/4 of an inch. That way, with expansion and contraction, they don't bust out and bend and bow out. This will last a really long time. And I'll work my way across with the vertical ones, doing the exact same thing. And I'll finish out the top 2 pieces. Now that that's done, I'll just take the glue and I'll just nail these on as well. I'm using a Type Bond 3, which is a water resistant glue, not waterproof, but it'll really help hold this together in the long haul. Now I'm going to take a 3/4 inch nail and I'm going to put it overlapping every one of the lattice works from both sides. This will really give it strength. Again, this is going to expand and contract with the temperature change in the wood, so this will keep them together for a really long time. Now, there was a big storm coming tonight, and it was crazy how fast it rolled in. Texas storm. So it's the next morning, and I'm going to start with the post hole digger, digging out behind this bougainvillea to set the post. The ground's nice and wet, but the dirt's really heavy, so I'm going to drink a lot of water today. Kind of get some space back behind there and dig both the post holes. Now I was lucky, my brother Johnny Austin and his beautiful wife came by and they were able to help me manhandle this arbor all the way back behind this bush without damaging any of the other plants, I'm very grateful for them coming over. Now that it's set in there, I can manhandle the rest. I'm going to get some bracing pieces and get them pre-screwed and go back with a level and level it up, bracing from the front and the back. It's kind of deceiving here because the fence goes downhill, but it's level as can be. I gotta mix up some concrete to get this thing going, so get it in the ground. can honestly say I did not destroy any of their plants, especially these little roses back there. I had to negotiate my way around them with the shovel full of concrete and not mess them up. So I did not screw up any of their landscaping. Get the concrete in there, pack it down. It's about 18 inches of concrete on both sides. And that'll hold it. It doesn't have a lot of pressure going either way. The wind can get through it. Holy cow, what a project. Big, beautiful arbor with wonderful lattice work. It looks so good in the ground, and it's gonna accomplish exactly what they wanted to accomplish. It's gonna let them tie and train their bougainvillea to it. Also, it's gonna let it grow over so that when it flowers, it's gonna be gorgeous. Stoner fun fact for the day, bougainvilleas actually don't flower. When they're dying, the leaves change the color to pinks or purple, and they have a gestation period of about every 3 months. So every 3 months, they're getting these beautiful colors as the leaves die off. So that's a quick tip there. I really enjoyed making this, guys. If you liked it, comment below. You know, make sure you check out, boom, right here, Streamlabs, ericsondesigncompany.com/merch for hats, cool coffee mugs, and support the channel. You know, I love doing this for you guys. I'd love to get that feedback. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company, and we built something.